Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or if you come to my channel a lot, welcome back. So today I just wanted to talk to you guys about me and my miscarriage that I had before this baby. So yeah, let's get started. So I found out I was pregnant like 2016, I think it was. That's sad, I don't even remember. But it was like April, May, June, July. Yeah, it was April when I found out. And I started having complications from the beginning. Like, I was bleeding and all that stuff. And one day I was bleeding and I ended up going to the hospital. And they said, they did tests and stuff and an ultrasound to check everything. And they said that I was bleeding between my placenta and my uterine wall. But they said that normally, people go on to have healthy babies and a good pregnancy. So I was thinking that, okay, well, I'm just gonna put my faith in God and everything's gonna be okay. I don't know why it looks dark right there, but... So I get discharged from the hospital and put on bed rest and all this good stuff. And I go to the appointment to see my doctor the next day or two. And we did an ultrasound and everything was fine. And then a couple weeks later, I was scheduled for another ultrasound. I was 12 weeks. And I kind of felt like something was wrong because the ultrasound tech lady, normally, she'll put the screen towards you so you can, see your baby or whatever. The screen, wasn't even towards me. It was just, in front of her. And she was just, pushing so hard on my stomach with, the Doppler thing, the thing that they use to see the baby with. And it was just horrible. I just knew something was wrong. And she didn't say anything. She was just like, I'll be right back. And she comes back in with my doctor. And my doctor's like, your baby doesn't have a heartbeat. It stopped growing at 8 weeks. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So I was sitting on the ultrasound bed and just sitting there is this real? My baby, I've been carrying around my dead baby from 8 weeks to 12 weeks because my last ultrasound was I was 8 weeks. And my baby still had a heartbeat at that time. So coming to a 12-week ultrasound and my baby not having a heartbeat, it was just a lot to handle. And I was just sitting there and my doctor was like, are you okay? Is everything fine? I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, the next step is you can either go to the hospital and have a DNC done, or you can just go home and just let everything happen naturally. I was like, I just want to go home and I just want, to be in my own private space and just deal with this on my own. So she was like, okay, and do you need a minute? You're sitting here, as long as you need, take as long as you want. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna go. So I wasn't crying or anything because I didn't want to walk past everybody in the waiting room and everybody look at me why is she crying? And freak all the other pregnant moms out. So anyways, as soon as I opened the door to walk outside from the doctor's office, I just start crying. I'm bawling my eyes out. I couldn't hold it in anymore. And The first person I called was my grandma. She's always the first person I call, but she didn't answer. So I'm like, oh my God, like, who can I call? Where can I go? Like, so I was like, oh my God, my sister. Um, I know she's at work, which is only 7 blocks away. She worked at KFC. I was on um the street called a street called Second Street. So, and KFC was on 8th Street. So I was like, I can make it. I can walk. I can walk down there. So the whole way I'm walking, I'm just crying, like walking down the street, bawling my eyes out. Like it was horrible. And I get to KFC, and I was like, I'm here for so and so. I don't want to say my sister's name in case she doesn't want that out there, but and she was in the back working, I guess, or whatever. So I had to wait for her, and she just came out and she knew something was wrong because like my eyes were all puffy and I don't know, you could just tell, she said. And she came around the little counter and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, the baby didn't have a heartbeat. Like, bawl my eyes out. And she's like, oh my God. And she just like hugs me. And like the other KFC workers are like, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Like, I just didn't want to talk to anybody but my sister. And her boss was actually nice enough to let her go home for the rest of the day to just like be with me and comfort me and stuff. So we go back to her house and I don't know, I'm just like miserable, and I finally get in touch with my grandma and she comes to pick me up. My other sister is in town from overseas because she's in the military, so she's in town, she's staying at my grandma's house. So my grandma comes to pick me up, I go to her house. Later that night, the same day that they told me the baby didn't have a heartbeat, she was sleeping, my grandma was sleeping in the rocking chair, or recline or whatever. And my other sister that came from overseas was in the bedroom sleeping because she was leaving the next day to go back overseas. And I was laying on the couch. So I'm just like laying there by myself, like just thinking everything's running through my mind. Like, did I do something wrong? Like, and then I just start having contractions and I could tell. So I was like, I need to like time these because they do seem pretty close. Like they came pretty close, like fast. And so I downloaded a contraction timer app thingy real quick and started timing them, and I kept getting up to go to the bathroom because it felt like I had to go to the bathroom, but the only thing that came out was blood. Like blood was the only thing coming out of me. So eventually, like, I just got sick of wearing pants and stuff, so I laid a towel down on my grandma's floor and I covered up with a towel. Like I had a shirt on, but like nothing from the waist down on but the towel. And my grandma's like, are you okay? Is everything okay? I was like, I think, you know, it's just that it's time that this is happening. Like, she was like, okay. She knows because she's been through it before, so she was there like with me through it all. But anyways, so I'm laying on the floor facing the couch, like so nobody can see like my vagina, but I kept asking my grandma, I'm like, do you see anything? Like, what's down there? Like, I feel like I need to push. And she was like, all I see is blood, like blood clots and stuff. And I was like, I don't feel good or whatever. So she calls 911 and the ambulance come. And they tried to put me on the stretcher or something. I don't remember. And I was just like, no, I'm okay to walk to get on the stretcher or whatever. And they're like, okay. So I just remember being in the back of the ambulance and my grandma was like, I'll meet you at the hospital. And I was like, okay. And immediately, like, they put an IV in me in the ambulance, and they were just asking me questions and stuff. And I just remember them saying, you know, Shaniqua, Shaniqua, like, and I guess I wasn't saying nothing, but I don't remember it. I just remember everything black after that. I just remember waking up in the hospital and they told me that like my blood pressure dropped, so I like passed out. And my contractions are like extremely painful at this point, like extremely painful. And I'm just crying. And I'm there for hours. Like, this was late at night and everything didn't happen till like the sun was out in the morning. So I'm just like still crying, like, and telling everybody, like, the nurse is like, can you just give me something? Like, I'm in so much pain, like, and they're like, yeah, we can give you something for the pain. So they gave me morphine. They gave me a dose of morphine, and it did not work, you guys. Like, I'm begging for more something else, and they just like, well, we can give you more morphine. That's about it. So they give me more morphine, and I'm still feeling every single little bit of pain. So I don't know. I just remember a nurse coming in, and she's like, we're gonna get you cleaned up a bit and get the bed cleaned up a bit because there's blood everywhere. I'm like, okay. So my grandma comes over to the side that I stand up on, and I'm just like leaning over the bed having contractions. And I was like, she's like, how you feel? And I was like, I feel like I gotta puke. And I was like, can you hand me the pink bucket? So my grandma hands me the pink bucket, and while she's doing that, the nurses are like putting a towel in between my legs, and they tell me just to hold it there so I'm not like bleeding everywhere while they clean up the bed. And as soon as my grandma hands me the bucket, I throw up. And at the same time I throw up, I just feel like this big ball come out of me. I don't know, it just felt like a ball, a rubbery ball. And I'm just crying. I was like, it just came out. And my grandma was like, what? I was like, I think it just came out. And the nurse like checked, and she was like, oh, yep, it, you know, you finally passed it or whatever. And so she like takes a towel. Literally, guys, this upsets me to this day. She takes a towel with my fetus in it and throws it on the floor in the corner with the rest of the dirty sheets and towels that I had already bled on. So after that, like, I get back in the bed, like, my contractions stop immediately. Like, I feel good. I can finally sleep. I can finally rest. And then I just remember the doctors or whoever came in and said, like, oh, you didn't pass everything, so you're gonna have to have a D&C done. I'm like, oh my god, like, I thought this was over. So I'm laying there in the bed, and all I can hear is I'm like, I don't know, like, they obviously go inside you with like this big silver spoon thing, and they're like digging out whatever's in there, and you can hear them just like tapping on the tin bowl to like dump it in there. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I don't know, I just didn't expect it to be like that. And so now I am having another baby, and I did have problems with this one at the beginning, and I went to labor at 22 weeks, but they were able to stop it. And they put me on like bed rest after that, and then modified bed rest once I got better. But they basically said my body like can't handle like having any more kids. So that's why I'm having my tubes tied when I have this baby, because I am having a C-section. And when I think about it, like, it is sad, like, I'm not gonna have any more babies, but I know, so it's best, because the doctors think like it has to do with my placenta. Like, the more I keep trying to have kids, the more it's not gonna attach right on the inside of me. Like, I had placenta previa with this pregnancy, and then I had a bleeding with the placenta, and the one before this one, the one that I lost, and then I had placenta previa in the one before this one. So it's just, been a rough road and it's time to end it. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about my little miscarriage story so you can get to know me a little bit. I don't know. If you have any questions or comments or anything, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for even taking the time to click on my video and listen to what I even had to say, so I appreciate that. So yeah, thank you guys.